You're telling me if I learn a certain skill set, I can potentially monetize my expression of these things that I'm interested in, and then that becomes a cycle that lets me do the thing that I'm interested in for a living.
Recovered archive. Epoch. Pre-synthesis. Low bandwidth culture. Subject. Homo sapien. Arturo. Self-directed adaptation experiments detected. A mind trying to recode itself, using itself. Inefficient but amusing. Beginning playback.
Welcome to the channel, Self Actualize Online. What's this about? You clicked on this? What the hell is this? I'm documenting my self-actualization journey. I thought it'd be neat to do that. Content creation is one of the domains in which I'm hoping to make some progress. I started watching content creator gurus about 5 years ago now, which is crazy, a freaking half a decade ago. I have a bunch of gurus that I've listened to throughout the years. Ali Abdaal is one guy. You'll see me react to Dan Coe and people like Colin and Samir. I just thought it'd be interesting to document what it looks like for someone in that space to try to learn, understand how to think about what they can express in that world, which is what I'm doing here. Ali Abdaal is a dude that I've been watching for productivity content for quite a while. He was one of the first guys that made me think about YouTube, but I've been watching him for a while. I thought it'd be good to review some beginner YouTube advice, as I am a YouTube beginner myself, and see what that's like to process and document that for the world. Okay, so this first video, it's going to be a pretty short video by Ali Abdaal, like I said. Okay, here we go. I'll go ahead and link the video. This is from 3 months ago. Okay, 524,000 views already. You can tell this whole YouTube thing is a thing a lot of people want to do, me included. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I would like to talk about why you should consider starting a YouTube channel even if no one watches.
Part of what I'm thinking is nobody will be watching. That is a piece of advice I keep hearing, is do not expect anyone to watch your first videos. So we shall see. You're here.
I've been making YouTube videos
obviously
on this channel since 2017, talking about the strategies, the books, the ideas, the tools. Through that process, I learned a little bit about what it takes to actually make a YouTube video. And then in 2017, when I saw a business opportunity, I was like, oh, I could make videos talking about helping people get into med school. And that was when I really started taking YouTube seriously. And now I've been doing it consistently. Pretty much every good thing that's happened in my life since 2017, I can directly boil down to my YouTube channel. I'd like to share my top reasons as to why you should potentially consider starting a YouTube channel, even if no one watches. There are all sorts of reasons. I could talk about all of the practical benefits. I could talk about the value of being able to speak on camera, which for the record, I think is very valuable. I could talk about the value of learning how to edit videos, which even though AI tools are increasingly going to be taking over video editing.
Man, just learning about all these different domains and how there are a lot of disciplines that one would want to learn and understand so that they can create the sort of ecosystem that they want. And video editing, man, that's been one of my top bottlenecks for sure. That's where I'm like, man, how much of this do I keep? I don't know.
I could make the case that, hey, if you start a YouTube channel, at the start, maybe no one watches, but if you stay consistent with it over time, maybe you'll grow, maybe you'll get famous.
It'll be interesting to see too how AI tools kind of shape how easy it is or lowers the barrier of entry, which is already pretty freaking low.
But none of that is really the key point. The key reason, the one that trumps everything else, is because of the internal growth, the personal and emotional and spiritual growth you will go through as a result.
Personal, emotional, and spiritual growth. You know, that's what I'm hoping for too. What do I mean by that? I guess in my mind, what he's trying to convey is something, and we'll see, but it's something that I've been thinking about for the last few years, which is that entrepreneurship really does present the most immediate or effective way to try to self-develop, or at least it's one of them. Maybe becoming a martial arts master or something is on that list, but just as far as available options that most people can take on, That's what really attracted me initially, is when I started thinking like, wow, becoming a content creator can actually help me develop in a lot, just like the skill acquisition of these new tools that are very modern. And especially in the age of AI, one thinks, what are the skills that one should try to understand and work with so that they're not so easily left to the side. And maybe YouTube is that, just like becoming a content creator is going to be something that becomes more appealing to more and more people as AI takes a lot of other sorts of work. So yeah, I'm hoping to experience that, and I've experienced some of that.
Starting a YouTube channel, even if no one watches. The thing is, starting a YouTube channel, what it really does on an internal level is that you are taking your ego and you are putting it outside of your body into the world where it could be attacked. And that is scary. Interesting emotions that come up when we have...
It could be a little embarrassing. That's probably what most people are scared of. Having listened to enough of these sorts of things, I'm just now expecting it. I'll get to Roberto Blake, who's another sort of guru in this space. Gurus sounds negative. That's not what I mean. Just dude who talks about this stuff. And he's always referencing people, the Mr. Beasts of the world, MKBHD, people like that. Giant YouTubers who took so long to get to their first 1,000 subscribers, maybe, like how many videos it took them to get to 1,000. And it's crazy. Surprisingly, it's a lot. Like they didn't just knock it out of the park right away. And so I'm expecting that, though I'm hoping, that if I have a good enough strategy, if I make interesting enough content, hopefully I don't have to wait too long to start seeing people subscribe and just keep up with the videos. But yeah, I can see what he's saying.
To speak to a camera and stick that video on the internet. There are emotions that come up when you simply just hit record on the camera with the intent to put it on the internet. It's not the same as being on a Zoom call. There's something about the format of speaking to a camera, knowing that it might
trying to make eye contact
feels confronting in some kind of way. And that is a very good thing. The whole thing around like personal, emotional.
What doesn't help, by the way, are these lights, man. I'll say maybe at the start here, I'm pretty introverted, right? I do not like the spotlight. I know that kind of doesn't make sense given this video, but so it's just weird. I got these 2 lights basically, but some in the back here too. So that's weird. It's not normal feeling to speak to a camera like this.
Growth involves putting ourselves into uncomfortable situations where we are able to confront the internal demons that guard the gates, as it were. When you have the audacity to start a YouTube channel, even though no one is watching, and you put your ego out there, you'll feel the fear, you'll feel the judgment, you'll feel the fear of judgment. You'll be thinking, I couldn't have any of my friends possibly seeing this video because that would be embarrassing. What about my work colleagues?
I'm not sharing it with most people, so I'm hoping that whoever does land on this, it's like an organic thing. There are reasons for that other than just like embarrassment. You don't want to send it to people who are not necessarily in the niche that you're trying to address, because then they'll probably click out. They're not super interested, and that's going to affect the algorithm.
Basic ass form, like making a friggin' YouTube video and sticking it on the internet. And it's so valuable. It's so valuable to confront those feelings. It's so valuable to understand that they exist and to try and figure out where they're coming from and to try and do something about them. Because really, a huge part of like personal and emotional and spiritual growth is recognizing that A, no one actually cares. B, if they do, it shouldn't really affect you. C, how the hell do you not care about what other people around you think? How do you like do your own thing? And basically what all of personal and spiritual growth eventually ends up in is being able to transcend the ego. Being able to do something without the fear of this shell of an identity that we've crafted around ourselves.
We'll be getting into meditation and stuff too. There's a lot of interesting sort of ideas that I haven't properly processed and formulated, but ego death and that sort of thing. I'm sure there's something to that for sure. We'll get there.
Like, we've had various people take my course, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. We've had several thousand people take that course, and lots of them have made only a handful of videos, normally the initial goal when they start something like this. Even though they didn't make it as a YouTuber, they are still really glad about the growth that they had on that journey of even just making a few videos. Another big part of it is that starting a YouTube channel, even when no one is watching, especially if you've never done this sort of video thing before, helps you feel more of a sense of personal agency. It helps you get more of that feeling of you can actually take something random, like the art of making videos, and you can figure it out.
Modern humans right now can basically figure anything out. And that I relate to that for sure. That's part of what made this avenue appealing, is like You're telling me if I learn a certain skill set, I can potentially monetize my expression of these things that I'm interested in, and then that becomes a cycle that lets me do the thing that I'm interested in for a living. I think that's why most people are into YouTube. And what it is, again, it just feels very entrepreneurial in a way that doesn't feel tarnished, depending on your politics. But a lot of people are weird about people who want to make money or starting businesses. But I think there's a pretty healthy relationship from the YouTubers that I've seen. They have a pretty good relationship to their idea of personal agency and what it means to make progress as a YouTuber or content creator more generally. There are all these things that exist where you can just like build your skills and then go in the directions of them, get good, and then you make your own path in the world.
And the thing is, when we start off as kids, we all have this belief that everything is figure outable. Like, kids don't usually have fear. You'll see kids running around and like doing all the stuff and jumping off of things. But usually at some point, as we grow older, we start to internalize the belief that we cannot figure out new things. We got through school, got through university, started doing jobs, and then we became quite specialized at doing the thing. And we never really tried to branch out of the main thing that we're doing for work because life gets in the way and stuff. When it comes to thinking like, oh, let me start a new hobby like learning the guitar, every year, more like all these people decide they want to take up a musical instrument. Almost no one sticks through with it.
Heads up, you're going to see me learn the guitar. It's actually right next to me. I'm 34, going to be 35 somewhat soon, but I feel like I want to get a guitar. And I enjoy music. I've loved music all my life. And it's one of those things too. Man, how does one justify spending time and pouring their energy into something that seems a little frivolous? I'm more critiquing the framing that so many of us have, that it's just weird to get into certain things. This whole channel is going to be devoted to getting into things that maybe are a bit frivolous, but I can imagine why certain people would feel that way. Pouring your whole life into this one thing and then to be like, maybe I want to do this other thing, but that's going to take all this learning and I haven't learned formally since college maybe. But what is cool is I've seen a lot of YouTubers who are old, and clearly everyone's having to learn how to do YouTube. There's no real playbook, so that's cool.
I'm not saying that if you're a doctor in your 40s or 50s, suddenly starting a YouTube channel is going to be the answer to all of your dreams and hopes and aspirations. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that
I wanted
starting a YouTube channel, even when no one is watching, with whatever kind of professional background you have, will force you to learn new skills and will therefore teach your brain and your heart and your soul that you are someone who can learn new things. At whatever stage of life you're at, I personally feel that starting a YouTube channel, even when no one is watching, just will be a valuable use of your time. If you're watching the video at this point, I would ask you, what is holding you back? What I hope that this video can be for a handful of people is the nudge that you need, the permission that you've been waiting for from someone else who allegedly seems to know what they're talking about.
My girlfriend's dad says, you got to break the now barrier.
Just make a bet on yourself. Trust that you can learn new things and you can give this a go. Even if it goes nowhere, even if no one watches the stuff, you will still, I promise you will still learn valuable skills. You will still find it a useful activity to do for the emotional growth, the internal growth, the personal growth, the spiritual growth.
I didn't realize I was doing it for this, but I think this is just giving an outlet to be able to talk about the things that I like talking about, which is maybe like an introverted way to think about that. I'm just giving myself the space to talk about stuff that I'm into in the hopes that there are people out there who are interested in the same things. Hopefully I make content that's interesting and creative enough to get them. We're going to go through all sorts of stuff, guys. Meditation, musicianship, physical fitness. I'm doing basketball. You'll see that coming up soon. We'll get into philosophy and more interesting things like that.
Learning new things is a key part of how we keep our minds healthy. It's how we keep our spirit healthy, because the spirit and soul, or whatever you want to call it, has these needs for like growth.
I'll say the namesake of this is obviously Abraham Maslow's Self Actualization. That's the name of this channel. Now, I have his book, Toward a Psychology of Being. I did not actually read it front to back. I started, maybe did like a third of the way before I thought I should probably read some other stuff before getting here. So unfortunately, I don't have his formal understanding of what he termed self-actualization, but I do agree with that. I think that as humans, there's something inherent in us that makes us want to grow and just develop, and hopefully in self-directed ways.
But what would I make videos about? You can make videos about whatever you want. The goal is simply to try it out. The goal is to do the thing. Starting a YouTube channel,
that's how I'm thinking about it,
is a means to an end. When I started YouTube, I'm really glad it didn't start off as a money-making scheme. Since 2010, I wanted to be a YouTuber because I wanted to make music videos. The goal was never to try and get rich or famous. It was just like, it would be cool to be a YouTuber. And then I made a handful of these music videos. And then I realized no one watches. But I learned the skills of how to make videos. I learned how to use a camera and I learned how to edit. Then, mid-2017, when I have the idea that like I can use YouTube as a lead generation device for my business that was helping kids get into med school, suddenly I was like, oh, I already know how to make videos because I dabbled with these shitty music videos back in the day.
That is how I'm thinking about it too, in terms of like my niche. My niche is a little broad, at least for what a lot of these YouTube guru people would suggest. But what I'm hoping, the meta skill that I'm developing, which is like how to video edit it and think about creating a channel and having a vision and being able to execute that, hopefully that's going to be transferable.
Don't try and make money from it. That should not be the primary goal. There's all this stuff about how you can make money as a YouTuber, and I think it gives people the wrong impression. It makes people think that the only reason to do it is for the money. But actually, there are loads of people who play the guitar for fun, who make YouTube videos for fun, because the art of creative expression and creative pursuit and like putting yourself out there and like editing a thing, it's like an art project almost. What would it take for you to see it as a bit of a hobby, as a bit of an art project?
I certainly want these videos to get views so that I can get the AdSense going on. But yeah, I think right now it's most important to just be like, I'm just trying to have fun with these creative videos and trying to make sure that I'm working on the skills themselves.
If you find yourself enjoying it and you're like, you know what, I can see myself doing this for 10 years and enjoying the process, then we can now start talking about like a business plan and the niche and target audience and value proposition and all the stuff that we talk about in my course. You don't need to start out with that sort of, I'm approaching this like a businessman approach. In fact, I would recommend you not do that. I'd recommend that your first 7 videos are purely for you. They're purely experimental to see if you like the art of making YouTube videos. I'm hopefully speaking to you right now because you've been thinking about this and you haven't done it yet. Just give it a go. Treat it like a hobby initially. I had no idea that it could become like a multi-million-dollar business many years down the line. Had I known that the possibility was there, I might not even have started because I would have overthought even more than I already did for the 6 whole freaking years.
I am an overthinker though, and that's partly responsible for why I've taken so long to do this, but hopefully I'm past most of that, at least with regard to a lot of the components that make up thinking about and strategizing and becoming a content creator. All right, that was good. I will include the link below if you want to see that. What do we think? A lot of benefits to be had. So far, it's been interesting and worth it, and I'm sure it's going to get a lot more fun as I start seeing people start viewing these, maybe, hopefully. But it's been fun too, just the creative expression of it, like coming up with thumbnails. Using Midjourney for a lot of this stuff has been fun. So stick around if you care to see a person like me document the different areas that they are, for themselves, thinking would be fruitful, meaningful. Okay, let's not get too long-winded here. On to the next one. Thanks for sticking around. Arturo. Peace.